leaning on his gun in the dusty haze. Swish, swish, the noise came quietly through to me. I watched the prisoner nearest, slightly hypnotised by the movement of his cutter and the articulation of his bony arm. I shouldn't think they were fed too well. A bit of steamed green banana or maize meal, some boiled-up neck of chicken if they were lucky. Turning away from the window, I resolved, since there didn't seem any likelihood of a presidential consultation that afternoon, to get a bus into town. I used to wear just shorts and shirt in the bush, and needed to get a linen suit to run up for tonight. The street-side tailors, there were whole rows of them, with their push-pedal cast-iron singers, their bad teeth and worse English, were just the fellows for the job. They could sort you out a suit in a couple of hours while you looked round the market or went to one of the astoundingly understocked grocers. Not quite Savile Row, but good enough for here, good enough for Idi anyway. Though he himself did wear Savile Row tailoring, with its luscious thick lapels and heavy hem drop. Zipped up in their polypropylene bags, the suits came in on the weekly flight from Stansted, hung on racks among crates of scotch, golf clubs, radio cassettes, cartons of cigarettes, bicycles tubed in cardboard, slimline kettles, sleek toasted sandwich makers with winking lights. And plain things too, sugar and tea, products that might well have come from here in the first place, swapping their gunny sacks for cellophane packaging on the return trip. I needed a suit quickly because this evening Idi was to host the ambassador's dinner, the annual bean feast at which he entertained Kampala's diplomatic corps, assembled local dignitaries, senior civil servants, the wealthier concessionaires, Lonhro, Cooper Motors, Siemens, the top figures from the banks, Standard, Commercial, Grindlays, and tribal chiefs from all over the country. Waswa, the minister, had told me that His Excellency had given specific orders that I should attend. "As you know," he had said. I had read Amin's medical records, such as they were. Chaos, really, since His Excellency insisted on editing them himself. "President Amin occasionally suffers from a slight gastric difficulty." As I shut the door of the office behind me, the draught from the corridor set the blinds tinkling like little cymbals. The noise reminded me of something I once saw on holiday in Malta, a set of tiny, shiny knives hung up like wind chimes outside a knife grinder's shop. Aeolian sharps, as a friend remarked at the time. On my return from town, I took a shower in the concrete-lined cubicle in the bungalow. The big steel rose spurted out only a single stream of tepid liquid, under which I held up my hands, sending it spattering, planing down my back. Afterwards, as I went through the rough archway that separated the steamy bathroom from the sweltering bedroom, it was like going from one dimension to another. Fresh sweat mixed with the runnels of shower water. I then found myself irritatingly needing to defecate, which I always hate doing just after a shower. It seems like a form of sacrilege. As usual, I contemplated what I had produced. It was the easiest way of determining at an early stage the presence of a parasite, which could take hold in that fetid climate in a matter of hours. This evening's offering, I was worried to notice, was paler than usual, suggesting that bacteria had been absorbed into the bowel. I made a mental note to run some tests on myself in the morning. The effort of expulsion had caused me to perspire even more, so when I put on my new suit I was already wearing what I used to call my African undertaker's outfit, the envelope of moisture which covers the body day and night. This tropical monster, ghostly presage of 1,000 sallow malarial deaths, squats on one's shoulders and then, trickling down, concentrates its peculiar force in the hollows of the knees and ankles. It was in this morbid state that I strolled across the lawn to State House itself, hair brushed and shining nonetheless, a blue short-sleeved shirt and natty green tie under the cream suit. On my way I saw that the sicklemen were being herded into the lorry that would take them back to the jail on the outskirts of town. One by one the mowers disappeared through the canvas flaps, throwing their cutters into a wooden box below the tow bar as they did so. Their guard lifted a short stick, acknowledging me as I passed. A marabou stork was poking about nearby in a pile of rubbish, and I gave it a wide berth. These birds, the height of a small child, stood on spindly legs, their large beaks and heavy pinkish wattles making them look as if they might topple over. They were urban scavengers gathering wherever there was pollution or decay. I hated them, yet I found them intriguing.